Being a game master and running a tabletop RPG can be intimidating, which is reasonable, and many of us have been there. But I'm here to tell you that it is not as scary as you are making it out to be. With that in mind, here are my 5 tips for a new game master. Tip number 1: keep calm and carry on. Whatever else I tell you, this is, in my opinion, the most important piece of advice. You will make mistakes, there'll be disagreements, and the players will surprise you. When that happens, do not panic. Take a deep breath, count backwards from 10, and call a break if you have to. Just remember to keep calm and carry on. These are games, everyone is there to have fun, so don't stress yourself out, and remember, keep calm and carry on. Tip number 2: you are not writing a book. Just as there are tropes about different types of players, such as the theater kid who gets way into their character, or the munchkin who gets way into trying to break the game's mechanics, there are negative tropes about game masters as well. One of these tropes is that of the aspiring or failed author. These are game masters who want to write a book, but for some reason don't. So they decide to try and run a game and direct everything as if they are a director in charge of a movie or a play. But that is not how tabletop RPGs work. These are cooperative games. You are not an author or a director. You are a game master. Tip number 3: prep scenarios, not plots. Jumping off of number 2, a common piece of advice is to prep scenarios, not plots. To explain how this works, let's imagine the classic dungeon crawl. The dungeon is a scenario which is full of problems and obstacles for the players to overcome. How the players will overcome these obstacles and solve these problems is up to them. Sure, there are likely solutions, but solving problems and overcoming obstacles in unique and interesting ways is a large part of the fun of tabletop RPGs. When that happens, don't try to keep the players on the rails because they have deviated from your idealized script. Just let it happen, remind yourself that you are not writing a book, and go back to point number 1. Keep calm and carry on. Tip number 4: be prepared to improvise. While tabletop RPGs are not improv theater, they do share some similar elements. Those elements being the possibility for the unexpected to happen, which is, in my opinion, a large part of the fun of a tabletop RPG. But this also means that you can never predict what the players will do. If you try to plan for 10 possibilities, the players will find an 11th. If you plan for 100, they will find 101. There's only one of you, and there are multiple of them. You are not going to be able to outplot them. Your best recourse is to learn to think on your feet and get good at improvising. If you get stuck and need a few minutes to collect your thoughts, that is fine. Call a short break and remember, keep calm and carry on. Tip number 5: learn to say no. One of the hardest parts of being a good game master might be learning how to and when to say no to the players. Yes, many of us would rather avoid confrontation. Yes, many of these players are likely personal friends of yours. Yes, everyone is there to have fun. But sometimes players will ask for things or to do things that are at best unreasonable and at worst will make the game less fun for you and the other players. So you have to learn to put your foot down and learn to say no. Bonus tip: remember to have fun. The G in TTRPG stands for game. We play these games to have fun. If everyone is having fun, then you are doing a good job. Yes, you will make mistakes. Yes, there will be drama, and yes, eventually one of the players will die. But as long as everyone is having fun, you are doing a good job. But what do I know? Feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, this has been HJ, signing off.